What's up, guys? It's Logan. So I'm back with another video today, and today we have my friend again here, Imagine. And today the subject of the discussion is: do you think a man can successfully raise a girl, and do you think a woman can successfully raise a man, vice versa? So basically, like if you're a single parent, do you feel like you can raise the opposite sex child successfully? What do you think, Eddie?
I think that you can successfully raise a child to be like an effective citizen within society, for them to function, make money. But as far as like appealing to them emotionally, I feel like there's going to be some things missing, because a man can only teach a girl so much, and a woman can only teach a boy so much. Like, that's why we're meant to have two parents. A mother's meant to nurture, dad is meant to be stern, to just do different things. And I feel like you need that balance to be an overall well-balanced person. Because if you look at your life right now, or well, let's look at my life. Like, I was raised by a single mom, so it's like some interactions that I would have had with my dad, I'm lacking. But I'm still a successful person. But when it comes to like things I may lack emotionally, that's stems from me not having a father. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I feel like the things that could be missing in a single parent household is like they don't really matter. I mean, or it's really like circumstantial.
You mean you saying the things don't really matter?
No, like
the things that
you can still get like the nurturing from a dad. Mm-hmm. You can still get a stern from a mom. Mm-hmm. Those are like gender roles. Like, you don't have to only be a man to be a stern, outspoken man or whatever. You don't have to be a nurturing, soft-spoken, caring mother. You know what I'm saying? You can do that in opposite traits of a person. So
true, but
what you're missing in a man and a woman, you can still get as a parent, and that really just matter on your relationship with your child.
And once they become an adult, do you feel like just because on the basis of they only had one parent in their household, and it was the opposite sex of them, do you feel like the individual will be lacking any type of?
Well, in psychology, it's shown that like whenever a parent is missing, whenever those voids are like created when you're younger, so when you get older, like they may not have been filled, throughout childhood, teenage, puberty, and then when they get older, sometimes they're still like, trying to fill those voids that weren't filled when they were younger. So I do think that a lot of times people do like have certain voids that they have to deal with when they're older, because they missed out on like a certain type of parent or a maternal figure or paternal or whatever. But I won't say that you can like say, oh well, if you're raised this way, then you're gonna be missing something. But I will say that it's possible.
It's like I don't think it'll be something as to where like they don't learn it, or they literally don't like are missing something. But I do feel like it'll take them longer to learn certain things. Just because I feel like it's where someone who had both parents would learn it in the household would learn XYZ while they're at home. The person who doesn't have both parents would probably learn that same thing, but they will learn it later in life, and maybe like outside of the house, maybe at school, or maybe like when they get older as an adult.
I honestly didn't realize that until I got older, like went to college, because a lot of people, I was trying to figure out why they were dealing with certain things like from boys or men, or why like they let dudes treat them some type of way, and I'm like, maybe, and they would explain how
they were raised.
Yeah, and how their mom would like date, or how their dad would be dating, and they're seeing these people have these types of relationships, and they like replicate that as what's normal. You know? And then I'm like, they have to completely relearn how to love and how to be in relationships and all these other things, because they've like imprinted some unhealthy behavior to be normal.
Like things that maybe like, for example, like how is your mom really gonna a mom gonna really teach her son how to shave? Or like when it's time for a little girl to go into a bathroom, how is the dad gonna know like, hey, to learn her experience as she's going into the bathroom, to be like, hey, make sure you don't sit on the toilet. Make sure you put this right here, man. Because he just gonna send his daughter in. He's just gonna send his daughter in to. He's
not gonna tell her like how to properly
sit
just
on the toilet, it's just the little things in life. It's the little things.
But I feel like if you're a really good parent, you're gonna know how to do that.
Reasons.
I think that you have the ability to raise the opposite sex, but I do think that you shouldn't have the idea that it isn't needed. So if you have a son, you shouldn't feel like a man isn't needed. I do think that there should be people in their lives that are able to like give them the things that they need, and sometimes women may not be able to explain it the same way as a man. One, because I can't biologically, my body doesn't like react to things the same way as you. So once a boy gets 10 years old and his penis starts to get erect, and he's like, "Mom, why does this happen?" And she knows why it happens, but she never personally went through that thing. So I don't think that she can't explain it. She can, of course, but at the same time, I do think that sometimes it's easier when you're like experiencing things with someone who can understand it the same way. Okay. Yeah.
Going through that, she can't just say, "Oh, this is the reason that your penis is starting to get erect." But she can't just say that. But it will be easier if his father, if a man in his life was like, was saying it, because it will be more of like, I relate. I can tell you from experience that this is really, I understand what you're going through, and a woman can't really say I understand what you're going through. Which is the same as vice versa. Like, I feel like if a man is raising a little girl, if she's going through her period for the first time, he can say like, I know you're going through all of these hormonal mental changes, but he can't necessarily say I understand, because he doesn't understand. Or a man can't even prepare a girl to go walk down the hallway with nothing but men in it. A man can't really prepare a woman to do that, because he doesn't know how that feels to be a woman walking down the hallway with nothing but men in it. But I do feel like a lot of the times, like you said earlier, even if you are raised by one person, you have aunts and uncles and grandparents and stuff like that around you, to where it's like you'll be missing something like right there with you, but it won't be too far away if you need to get to it. I feel like even if a man can't relate with his daughter on like her menstrual cycle, he can always go to his sister or go to his mom and have them talk to her about it. So
when those type of things come into play, then that's when you can get, because it's not like you're gonna be a dad and you ain't gonna have no female people around, no older female people around to show your daughter what to say, what to do, you know what I'm saying? And vice versa. You can be a woman, but you're not going to be only a woman or surrounded by only women. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a dude around somewhere that could teach your son.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's true. Most of the time, I always going to have somebody around.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it definitely takes a village to raise a kid. I'm not saying you won't be successful, but it's just you may be liking small things, and it's okay. Like you may not experience it with your parent. You're just gonna experience it later on in life.
Yeah, and because even with like, I feel like even with that, with something as simple as like a menstrual cycle and a dad not being able to like really relate, I feel like that's not something that's gonna just harm the girl in the fact that she can't go out into the world and be a good, successfully raised young girl, but it's just that
so
that's some parts.
And I feel like that's the only thing that matters in society, is that you are well balanced.
But that's not, because I feel like not only do you have to go out and deal with society, and like you have to know how to function in society. A parent can teach you how to do that, but a parent can tell you how to like really just like deal with yourself, like your inner self. I feel like that's a whole other part of parenting that people don't really just like focus on. Like, you have to not only teach a child how to go out here and how to function in the world, but you have to also teach a child how to function with yourself. Like, you're gonna sometimes feel like certain ways, and you're gonna need to know how to suppress that. And I feel like certain stuff that women go through, as far as even like menstrual cycles and stuff like that, a man can't just explain and nurture his young daughter in something like that when he's never been in it. He doesn't really know. He can't go to his daughter and say, I know how you feel, it's going to be okay, because he really doesn't know how it feels. So it's like, I feel like when it comes to stuff like that, it's kind of like a man just can't relate to his daughter.
I feel like if anything, it's just important that we like cater to whatever the child needs. Like, I think that comes down to it, like not being selfish in parenting. Even if you're a man or a woman raising the opposite sex, it should always be you trying to figure out what that child needs, and not like neglecting their needs, because sometimes in single parent like relationships, you're all that they have. And so, I mean, to be honest, they don't really know if what you're telling them is wrong, because for all they know, everything you're saying is right.
Right.
It's easier to be controlling in those types of situations, opposed to like if you have a partner, like they can correct you. Personally, I've seen like my mom and dad. My mom is telling me something. My dad is like, well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. And in a single parent relationship, there's not that other person to tell you that. So I think that in that, I feel like you have an opportunity to be closer to the child when you're in a single parent relationship, because it's kind of like
Just y'all two.
and or if you have another sibling, it's just a straight interaction. But I feel like that takes a lot of maturity that even sometimes adults
Yeah.
can't really.
Definitely. I didn't even think about it in that aspect. And now I'm thinking about like all of the people that I know who like have like my family who have like single parents and they're raising one child, and I definitely agree with like one thing about it in my household. It's a lot of stuff where my parents will disagree. They don't necessarily. They always try to disagree. I'll hear them, but they'll always try to disagree away from me to where I can't come in and like be in the middle of it. But to where they would disagree on some type of something that revolves around parenting, and then they're like, but it is that one person that can check the other person. And in a single parent household, it's like that one parent is like God, and like you said, a child growing up does believe that everything your parents is telling them is true. I know I didn't even literally. It took me to get until I got to college before I realized my mom is not perfect. I was like, my mom told me XYZ, and it's not true.
You know how long I believed in Santa Claus because of that?
Yes.
A long time.
Yeah. So, and I think parents don't really realize that we only see the world through what they are allowing us to see the world through as a child. So, I do feel like it takes a lot of maturity if you are a single parent raising the opposite sex. It takes a lot of maturity, and I think that's something that people don't necessarily think about if they're raising it. Like if a woman has a child, the dad leaves, and they're like, "Oh, it's a son." They don't necessarily think about, okay, how am I going to successfully do this, being that this is a whole other sex. But I think that's something that people should really think about, because again, that's a lot of responsibility that's been put on you. Because if it was two people, like you said, that's being split. But being that it's one person, you're like God over their life, literally. So yeah, I agree. Yeah. You have anything else? No. All right. So that was the Table Talks for today. Make sure you guys tune in next week for the next Table Talks, and we will see you guys in our later video. Peace.
Bye.